The one really important thing that scientists, engineers and technologists could do is talk. So I do think they need to talk loudly and to people who they're not used to talking to. So scientists are very good at talking to other scientists, but the real potential lies in scientists explaining what they do, why they're doing it and what the potential is.
I think one of the things that I've observed so far is this very, very healthy connection between small disruptive companies and large old companies. That it's actually, this is a sector, an industry where there's going to be enormous disruptive forces, but there's also a lot of benefit to be brought to the table by very large old companies. And having them connected together here I think is really, really useful, because they can form those relationships but also learn from each other. What are the benefits of capital? Yes, very large for a large company. What are the benefits of passion, entrepreneurship and enthusiasm you get from the small disruptive players?
Yeah, fora like this are critically important. I mean, it is an interconnected world, and that it goes to the extreme for bio-based economy, where you have so many different actors that come together. I think there's one thing that we have learned over the past years in bio-based economy. This is not something you just do from one sector or from one perspective. It is something that touches on many things at the same time.
We've made tremendous progress from where we've come from. So P&G are talking about the new normal. Unilever are investing 63 million in a new facility to do this kind of work, to advance biotechnology faster. IKEA are making investments in startups that haven't even got capital in the ground. So extremely encouraging.
It's always been a paradox that we have the technology, but when we want to commercialise, we go to the States, to China, to India, to Brazil. And we really need to be creating those jobs and growth in rural areas in Europe for our young people and for our rural communities in particular.
It's a cultural shift probably most of all. And often it's driven, of course, it needs to be driven by CEO or whatever who is really behind it.
But what I see also very much developing is the broader discussion about what's the role of the bioeconomy. These difficulties between matching supply and demand. There's a very open discussion between different players.
Ask yourself, in your company, in your heart, with your family, why are you doing this? Right? And be really clear that of course you need, if you're in business, to make money and be commercially successful. But the intention behind that, to really make the world a better place, to genuinely improve the quality of life for people across the board, has to come from the heart. It has to be very genuine. And if it is, then almost all of your other issues will get solved in that process with some intelligent application of your extraordinary capacity for thinking.
I'm speaking to each of you individually, because if you managed to get society engaged with this idea, and that you are part of the translation process between the generation of knowledge and the use of knowledge for societal benefit, then we would be in a much, much better position than we currently find ourselves.
My impression of the audience and the delegates here at EFIB, I've been very impressed. The calibre of the people, their commitment to biotechnology and the bioeconomy is fantastic. And all the meetings today I've had very worthwhile discussions, and that's not always the case with other conferences. So EFIB should be congratulated for attracting such a high calibre of delegate.